Well, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thomas Montgomery with Smart Money Alliance and IIMFL. Here we are this morning on Thursday, August 27th, just a minute after 8 o'clock. And we're going to go back and talk a little bit about the basics. And I'd love to get feedback from each of you. It's fine for you to be the devil's advocate in this case. Be the pessimist. Be the antagonist. I want you to each tell me, be the Q&A box in Zoom, why you're not helping at least one client a day with the Entrepreneurship Program. So we're going to have just a friendly debate. So again, it's okay for you to be opposing. I'm going to give you the pitch why I think this should be your ticket for a material side income to help people. And I want you to fire back with all the arrows you have of why it's not. Because we've got some of you that are producing outstanding, and many of you are doing nothing. And so I need to figure out, is the program off? Am I the wrong guy to talk to you every morning about how the program works? Or is there just something not clicking with you, which is our fault, not yours, that's keeping us? So, let's start with our mission. We're a nonprofit organization committed to narrowing the racial wealth gap by teaching financial literacy, improving credit scores, and facilitating the development of minority-owned small businesses. The Entrepreneurship Program we came up with to be a hands-on, results-oriented approach to helping pre-launch and startup businesses be positioned to access capital. Now, I'm here to listen to all the concerns and take all the arrows you can throw. But what I know without doubt from my life experiences, and I'm not going to relent on this, most small business owners don't know what you know. And you know more than I know, but they don't know what you or I know. They're poorly equipped, and it's not their fault. Our society, our educational system teaches people to get a job and work for someone else. It doesn't teach people how to properly start and grow small businesses. And so on a daily basis, people come to us, and this extends back from when I worked for the SBA as well. People are almost poisoning their own well due to financial illiteracy. And that's why we put this together. So let's talk a moment about the curriculum that's in this and what I believe is the power of it. And again, I need to hear from you why you're calling bullshit on this, because you must be calling it BS or you'd be helping clients because you get paid a whole lot of money. And so let's go through. So in the first week, what we do is we help them to understand the importance of planning. If you and I were going to take a vacation together, we would start with a plan, right? Where are we going to go? When are we going to go? What resources are we going to need, right? You've got to plan a business. You can't just wing it. It's not going to be successful, or it's much less likely to be successful. And we need it not only from an internal resource, but also for third parties. If we're wanting money from other people as a loan or as an investment, we have to be able to convey to them that we know what the heck we're doing. And that comes from a well-written business plan. So we teach them about that. We use award-winning curriculum developed by the FDIC, promoted by the SBA, and we've provided every one of you, or we should have provided every one of you, the PowerPoint, the speaker's notes, and the handouts for this lesson. You should know it inside and out. I know it fairly well. And so you could teach this, or as we just talked about yesterday, through a variation, which we call the small business certification. It's the same curriculum. It's just you're essentially having me teach it for you instead of you teaching it for them. You're paid the same. But in either case, that's what we're going to teach them in week one. And again, if somehow you think that small businesses don't need help in understanding how to plan, then shoot me down. But you're working with a different clientele then, if that's your experience versus mine. Now, we're not going to just teach them, are we? No, we're going to help them build a lender-compliant business plan. We use a cloud-based software that gives them step-by-step guidance with introductory videos, industry benchmarking, samples, right? So this alone here, this is worth $1,000 or more if we just stopped right there. Then we go into week 2 about building business credit. Business credit is hot. People inquire with us at high volumes wanting to know about how does business credit work? How can I use business credit? This and that. And so we teach them about, frankly, about personal credit and business credit and how the two interface. We've provided each of you, or we should have provided each of you, the PowerPoint, the speaker's notes, and the handouts. This is great information. Again, it's award-winning from the FDIC and promoted by the SBA. If somehow you think that we shouldn't be out teaching people about how to build business credit, what paydex scores are, how they work, then let me know. Because in my experience, the world I live in, people don't know this. Frankly, a lot of them have interest in knowing it, and no one's out teaching it. And then, of course, we don't stop there. Then we implement. We actually help them develop their personal financial statement. Most people have no clue what their personal net worth is. Is that relevant? Hell yeah, it is. If you're wanting to raise capital, that's an important metric, what your net worth is. And so it doesn't mean if you don't have a high net worth, you can't get access to capital. That's not what I'm saying, but you need to know, right? And so again, if in your world, you think everyone knows their net worth and they can already calculate and put together in a good format their personal financial statement, then we're wasting our time on this subject. But that's not the world I live in. So again, I'm looking for feedback of why you don't want to help more people plan. You don't want to help more people build business credit. Then we get into week 3, financial management. And you've heard me not complain, but voice my concern. Most small business owners, when we ask them, well, could you go ahead and submit us your interim financial statements? And it's like a deer in the headlights. It's like, what the F is an interim financial statement, right? Or I don't have those, or I don't need those. I'm a startup. That's crazy talk. You know that. I know that, but they don't know that. So we've got to find some way to go teach these people, because for them to think that they're going to go get a loan from a bank and not be able to produce interim financial statements is craziness, right? So that's what we go teach them about. And then afterwards, we do an individualized financial needs analysis and create a plan for them. Most people don't have a plan, personal plan or a business plan. Then we get down here to banking and money. Oh my gosh, I mean, if they're interested in access to capital, obviously they need to know about banking and money. And again, it may be in your world, everybody you talk to knows everything they need to know about banking and money. In my world, often people are not knowledgeable. I get into debates, friendly debates, but debates frequently. We're talking about where we're going to get the funding for a client from, and say, well, we'll probably apply for a business loan with your existing bank because they know you. You have an existing depository relationship with them. They trust you. They know you're not fraudulent. Oh, no, I don't want to go to my bank. So there's just craziness in terms of inconsistencies of what people are thinking and doing versus what's logical in accessing capital. So we teach them about that. And again, either you can teach this lesson and this lesson and this lesson and this lesson, or you can come over here and enroll them in the variants where I teach them those lessons. You still get paid the same. It's not taking any money out of your pocket. So we need to teach them about that. And then we end up in the capital match. So, I mean, that's the power of this, but somehow I'm missing something because so many of you, I mean, you take the time to be on these calls, which I'm very appreciative of. I'm humbled to have the opportunity to work with you, but I'm here today to figure out why you're not executing. So I'm going to go through your comments, and we need to figure out why you have explicitly chosen to either not help small businesses with the entrepreneurship program and frankly get paid generously from it, because you know the pay, right? You get half of what we collect. So it's $396 for the 4-week program. They can pay it in $499 payments. You get half of that. So let's just round that off and say you get about $200 per person for teaching a class. And again, you can set up classes in person. You can set up classes on Zoom, Or you can do none of the above. You can just have them participate in the classes that I teach. I can be your substitute teacher, right? I'm not as qualified as you, but I'll do the best I can and teach them for you, and you don't even have to teach them, right? And then after that, as long as you have your insurance license, then you can also do their financial needs analysis, which almost always is going to result in a policy sale. And so that's going to add on, what, another $500,000 or more dollars. So let's just round off and say you're going to generate, on average, we'll be ultra conservative, $500 per client that goes through this, regardless if you're teaching this curriculum in person, online, or you say the hell with it. I'm just gonna get that Montgomery guy to be my substitute, and you get them over here and I teach them. So at $500 on average per client participating, I'm gonna go through and I'm not gonna disclose your names. This is all confidential, but this is our opportunity to give feedback of why you're not helping small businesses with what we believe is incredibly needed. All right, so let's get through here and let's see. So we have one person, again, I'll protect names because this is not about calling anyone out. So one person says, I invite them, but no one get involved yet. Okay. Well, if you're inviting them and they're not getting involved, I wonder, are you having them watch this YouTube video so they understand what it is? It may be, and not all of us have a sales acumen. I'm much more comfortable educating than selling myself. So it could be that you're just not a closer, right? And you may need to team up with a closer. Not that we're forcing someone, but there's a skill set to sales, right? You have to be able to explain to people succinctly the proposition, identify their problem, and show them how this solves their problem. And you might even want to point out the pain that they're having and how they would feel if they didn't have that pain anymore. But regardless, so for person initials CT, thank you for your candid feedback. And if you've got a pipeline, but you're not getting closes, then you're good at generating leads, it sounds like CT, so that's good. What you may need to do is partner up with a closer. All right. And JO says, started promoting it, 6 in the process. That's excellent. And each of us should average one a day, 20 a month. Now let's do the math. It's not going to be get rich, but if we average $500 per conversion, meaning person that enrolls and goes through it, and that's ultra conservative, assuming that we take weekends off, we'll take Labor Day off, but we'll say 20 days in a month times 500. Of course, that's $10,000 in the month. And that's being a financial literacy educator. That's not spending any money. It's not being a branch manager, not being a regional director, just helping small businesses. Okay, so JO has 6 in the process. That's a good pipeline. Good job. Okay, RR has concerns about anyone trained to teach the class. Okay, and that's a very good point. So as of yesterday, I'll be your substitute, RR, and I'll teach the class for you. I taught this as a full-time business professor, granted at a community college. It wasn't Harvard or MIT, but I taught it to credit earning students, and I worked for the SBA. I taught this. I'm a certified teacher in Texas, if you care. But the bottom line is I'll be your substitute. So we're going to remove the barrier of you not having anyone or yourself trained, and this is for everyone, not just RR. I'll be your substitute. And you know how substitute teachers work, right? You just need to pull me into your class. So essentially, we'll go through the process, but problem solve for RR is in terms of training for yourself or others to teach it. You've got a qualified trainer. Problem solved there. Let's go to the next. Okay, TJ is advertising on social media, made numerous calls, not getting any results. Okay, well, and that certainly can happen. What we know is there's a desperate need for this, for the reasons we've talked about, and the end result is we're helping them get positioned for a capital match and access to capital. So it must be somehow, TJ, in how you're presenting it. because we've hired the call center. You heard about this. We hired a call center, I guess, about 2 weeks ago now, and they're generating a plethora of leads. And so the call center are nice people from a third world country that cold call 300 small businesses a day. I'm not asking you to do that. I don't really want to do that. I pay them to do that. But the bottom line is they're cold calling people and driving people in that are enrolling. So it's got to be your pitch, TJ. And so we need to figure out how your pitch is off, or your target audience, because you've obviously got the skill set. There's some disconnect. So with our issue was we didn't have a trainer. Now I'm going to be the substitute teacher for RR and the rest of you. TJ's got a problem with her proposition to the marketplace. It's ineffective. And it can take some time to keep tweaking that. All right, CT, full-time employee, working full-time, still learning and slowly applying. Well, and CT, I appreciate that. But I would tell you, many people have side gigs. Some people deliver DoorDash, some drive Uber or Lyft, some sell Mary Kay or what have you. This is a very profitable side gig, and it shouldn't be overwhelming. So it sounds like for you, CT, you don't have a funnel. And if you don't have a funnel, then there's no surprise that you don't have closes. So in your case, we need to develop a funnel for you, don't we? All right, JO is struggling financially, causing to advance very slowly. Okay, sounds like JO's though setting up his infrastructure. That's fine. But, if we understand the sales process, we have to generate leads to put into the funnel, and then we have to close those in the funnel. So if we don't have any leads, it doesn't matter if we're financially struggling or not, or how motivated we are or not. We have to have leads. That creates the funnel, and then we have to close some. Not everyone will close out of the funnel. So it may be that some of us just don't have a funnel. All right, let's see here. A lack of confidence. Okay, now I'm fine with that. So let's go back through this, and I appreciate TC you saying that. So TC has a lack of confidence in this. So we're going to break that down. So we know that the FDIC developed this curriculum, and they're pretty credible. Now, I guess if you're anti-government, I'm not saying TC is, but I'm just saying in general, if you're anti-government and you're anti-capitalism, maybe you dismiss the credibility of the FDIC. But otherwise, I mean, they know a lot about money. And then secondly, it's endorsed by the SBA. And I don't know that we should find any opposition to the SBA's commitment and willingness to help small businesses. So that's the educational content. So TC, you're right. I give up. If the content, and we provide it to you, right? So you can go through it. You see the PowerPoint, speaker notes, handouts. If UTC or anyone, and you teach college classes currently, but if UTC or anyone else goes through this curriculum, award-winning curriculum, developed by the FDIC and promoted by the SBA, and you look at that and say, I'm not confident in those learning objectives, then we've got a massive problem. It's almost at a conspiracy level, because it would suggest that our whole small business economic model is corrupt. But it may be, TC, that you feel that this curriculum developed by the FDIC, promoted by the SBA, is crap, right? And then I guess you're right. You wouldn't want to promote that. But that's a pretty leftist comment right there. So I would encourage you, again, go back and go through that content and think very thoughtfully, is this crap, or is there some other problem? Because the curriculum is frankly bulletproof. It's absolutely bulletproof. And then if you wonder, well, what are you doing from the implementation side? I don't have confidence in that. Well, we're using LivePlan by Palo Alto Software. We're picking up the tab for our clients, and we're building lender compliant business plans with financial projections, just like many fee-based consultants do. And this is what the SBA uses. So again, I can't buy in, TC, to anything about the education not being credible, because it's very much credible. It's more credible than any of us as individuals. The business plan that we create is spotless. What we teach them about building business credit from the curriculum is impeccable. Developing SBA Form 413, this is the PFSs of all PFSs. And so I can't buy into it that anyone logically could have a lack of confidence in it. We do a financial needs analysis, and we have our own protocol that we use for it. And there's possible, maybe you look at that and you say, no, that's not how I would do a financial needs analysis. We have about 55,000 agents currently using this F&A tool, and many of them are making a lot more money than most of us. But I'll give you something there. Maybe you've got a better way to do a financial analysis. And then we get down to the banking and money. So I'm not with you when you tell me that someone has a lack of confidence in what we're talking about. I don't think that's the reason. It's got to be something else. Let's see. So we can have a lackadaisical attitude, Trump getting geared up. I lost that a little bit, DF, but in summary, DF is going to try to close out with 80 apps next month. That's what I'm talking about, DF. That's powerful. Okay, let's see here. BD says he doesn't have the speaker notes and PowerPoints. Well, all you got to do is get with Jennifer, and we've talked about it a million times, and we'll provide you a link to provide the PowerPoints, the speaker notes, and the handouts. That's what we do. It's there. I looked at it last night as I was preparing for our call today. It's not changed. Now, with that being said, again, BD, if you don't want to teach it, hire a substitute and I'll teach it for you. I know you'll do a better job, but I'm willing to teach it for you for free. Okay? Let's see. AW needs help closing. Okay, and so get with Jennifer on that, and if need be, she can pair you up with someone that can help you close. If you've got the funnel, so you can see that different of you, each of you have some different issues. Some of you can't close, and some of you can't develop a funnel, and I'm not being negative, but it's interesting. Some of you have a funnel but can't close. And so maybe we need to get Jennifer to help connect you all to fit in the missing pieces. Now, I will tell you that we do realize not everybody wants to close deals. And that's where the affiliate and master affiliate program comes in, where it allows individuals to generate leads but not be in a closing role. So we're in the process of getting master affiliate set up. So those of you that just want to generate a funnel and don't want to have to close will be able to do that. And so I do appreciate that. And yes, for the call center, we're doing a 30-day test with this group. And just so you know, we're paying about $100 per lead is what our cost is. And so we'll get through this 30-day period. And if it validates out, then we certainly will offer an opportunity for those of you that want to tap into the same call center we're using. However, you can just go on Upwork and just hire your own telemarketers without going through us. And it probably would be a little bit cheaper. But our cost is about $100 a lead that we're paying right now. Okay, TC's 100% confident in the education, and that's great. And that's all that we're doing here, right? That's all that we're doing is we're educating them, and then we're reconciling where they're at with the right type of capital and next steps. So if you're confident in the education, we should be enrolling people at least one a day here. Very good. Thank you. DS is clarifying. He had a lackadaisical attitude about this, but now he's serious. Great, great, great. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and I'm not saying this is right for everyone. You know, life's full of choices, but I just know that there's a problem. And that problem is growing because there's a lot of people struggling right now, and they can't go to work, or their job's been reduced, or their job's been eliminated. What a great time to help these individuals be able to have another revenue stream, right? A way to be able to pay their bills, a way to contribute, a way to be a positive role model to their spouse, their children, to the community. And this is what most small businesses need, not just because we came up with it or packaged it in this way. This is, I just believe fully in all my heart, this is what most small businesses are missing. Now, there's certainly a lot of other information that could be taught, but if we just drill down to the 4 most important topics that are needed, I think these are them. And you can, again, this is not some secret where the Oz is behind the curtain. You are provided the PowerPoints, the speaker notes, and the handouts. You can teach it, or I'll be your substitute. You can review it. And then if you want to stamp the BS sticker on it afterwards, then do it. But I don't think you can. I think it's illogical to think that these topics or this material is not what most small business owners need. So again, let's go ahead and look back at the website so we just know how to navigate this. So if you have someone that is looking for capital or looking for the knowledge and resources to be more successful with their business, and you want to teach it, you bring them to the Entrepreneurship Program page, the IIMFL.org. You scroll down at the bottom, you put their information in, referred by you. Sorry, that was pre-clicked. And then you click on the Entrepreneurship Program. You're going to collect the $396 from them. You're going to put a message in here that you collected it. You're going to keep half and send us half. If alternatively, let's go back to the home page, that you want me to be your substitute teacher, which I'm pleased to be, then instead of going to the Entrepreneurship Program, you'll go to the Small Business Certification class. It's the same curriculum, isn't it? It's just simply set up where I'm teaching it instead of you're teaching it. And so in that case, here's a page on it, a little YouTube video, a brief, I think it's 4-minute overview, a flyer, which is the same as the flyer right here. And then you do the same thing. You fill out their name, you're going to collect the money, but instead of clicking that box, you're going to click this box, you're going to collect the money, you keep half, you send us half, and then we'll teach it for you. Now, the backbone of it is still the same. I know that web page isn't the same, but it's still a topic of education. I'm sorry, a topic each week of education, and then implementation, education and implementation. So if you're choosing the Entrepreneurship Program to enroll them in, you're going to teach them, and then you're going to help them implement. If you don't want to teach, then you're going to choose over here the Small Business Certification. And in that case, we're going through the same curriculum, but I'll be your substitute, I'll teach it, and you'll do the implementation. If you don't want to do the teaching or the implementation, then you're what we call a leader, right? So it's fine for you to outsource both. And so as running a branch office, as a regional director, as a financial literacy educator, you can get paid by doing neither, couldn't you, right? Because I'll be your substitute teacher whenever you want, and then you can have one of our licensed agents go through and do the implementation for you, and you can just sit back and get mailbox money. That's fine too. We're still accomplishing the mission. We're still helping people. All right, so let's wrap up here. TC thinks this is excellent. Thank you. And I do too. I do too. And certainly we can go enroll people directly into the Capital Ready Package 2.0, and a lot of you do that. That's fine. But this is frankly what happens at the beginning of the Capital Ready Package 2.0. we still take them through a 4-week process of building their loan package. Now, they might not have been plugged into the educational curriculum, but now that's certainly what we're wanting to do for the reasons we've discussed. Okay, so Jackie asked, do we have a model or a process flow chart for an organization to adopt the program and scale quickly? Of a few churches. Well, kind of. I mean, essentially what I would do is if you have a key influencer or a host, then that's great. And then they can be hosting either the entrepreneurship program, or if you don't want to teach it, they can be hosting the small business certification as described here, same curriculum in either case. And so then you're just going to facilitate that relationship. You're going to work with the contact and say, okay, how do we get the word out, right? And we can do things like co-brand this and put their logo on it as well as ours and whatever else. But we just need to simply work with those key influencers to push this same message, because the message doesn't change if we're working with a host or a key influencer. We're just simply getting it often co-branded or at least subtly endorsed by them and pushing it out. So if you need help with that, let us know, but it shouldn't be much different theoretically than taking this flyer, dropping their logo on there as well, and having a plan for them to go spread the word. Galaxy, I wasn't supposed to say name, sorry. Galaxy, though, I already said it, hired an appointment setter, adding leads to the funnel. Awesome. And we do feel that by offering to be your substitute teacher on the curriculum, that should remove a lot of the burden, because, you know, it is a lot to teach and a lot to assimilate. And this way you can do what you do best. For those of you that don't want to teach it, is just get the word out, get the word out, and we'll take care of the teaching each week. All right, well, thank you all. I appreciate the feedback. I just wanted to learn from each of you where we're missing the mark. Because again, we've got a handful of you, just, you know, baseball analogy, out of the park, swinging and helping a lot of people. And then there's so many of you that just seem to strike out or not even swinging. You know, I don't know. But our job is to work with you to assist you in being able to resolve this. So thank you all for your time, and we'll see you back tomorrow morning.